Hello everybody and welcome to the New England Patriots pregame show powered by CLNS Media for Week 6 as the Patriots are in the Meadowlands getting ready to take on the New York Jets. My name is Alex Barth. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday morning. We'll be breaking down the Patriots and the Jets for the next 30 minutes or so. For more information on all of CLNS's Patriots coverage, you can follow them on Twitter at CLNS Media. Just something I want to say off the top of the show before we get into it. Best thoughts to Harvey Longy and his wife. They were involved in a car accident. I believe it was Friday night. Both are in the hospital recovering. None of the injuries are expected to be life-threatening, but we want to wish the best to them and hope that the two of them have a speedy recovery, and we hope we see Harvey out on the field again for the Patriots soon. One more thing I want to get to here off the top of the show before we start breaking down the Patriots and the Jets. And I just want to remind you all, if you have any questions or comments, you want to call me out on something I'm saying, if you're watching on YouTube Live, you can put it in the chat over to my right. If you're watching on Periscope, put it in the comments down below. More than happy to touch on whatever it is you guys want to talk about. I have my notes I'm going to hit, but this show is really tailored to you guys. So if there's something I'm not bringing up enough, a talking point you want me to hit on, definitely let me know. Before we get into that, though, I just want to let everybody know that this episode is sponsored by Greats, maker of all-time greats, classic, stylish, and comfortable sneakers at a great price. Greats is Brooklyn's first sneaker company. They sell it all, classic styles made the best for less. They have a wide selection of both men's and women's shoes, so it's a little something for everybody. You want to go on their various styles, suitable for any occasion. Tons of different colors and materials to choose from. Their best sellers include the Leather Royal Lace-Ups and the Wooster Slip-Ons. So if you're somebody like me, you don't like to tie your shoes, you run out of the house, get those slip-ons. Saves you some time. You can check those out along with lots of other styles at greats.com. That's GREATS.com. And we got a special offer for you right now. Save 15% on your first order with our offer code TRAGS. That's for Mike Petraglia. He has our Patriots coverage. You can follow him on Twitter during the game, by the way, at TRAGS. So go to greats.com. That's GREATS.com. And be sure to enter TRAGS to save 15% at checkout. Greats believe, and get this, this is what's great. I hate shopping online sometimes because you order something and in the picture it looks great and it shows up at your doorstep and it's not what you wanted. Greats is so confident you're going to like what they'll send you. They offer a no-risk return and exchange policy. Guarantee you get the right thing. So you order your shoes, not what you thought they would be. Just go out, go back and tell them you want something else and they'll take care of you. That's greats.com. Use the order code TRAGS to save 15%. We thank Greats for sponsoring the show. All right, getting you ready for the Patriots and the Jets here on the CLNS Media pregame show. My name is Alex Barth. Thanks for tuning in. And let's start, as we do every week, with the inactives. They came out about a half an hour ago. So let's get into those. And for the Patriots, we knew a lot of them kind of coming into the week. No major surprises. Harvey Longy obviously will not play. Eric Rowe we knew was going to be inactive from earlier in the week. Stephon Gilmore was a bit of a surprise when it came out yesterday. So no surprise to see him on the post now. But dealing with a concussion, and he didn't seem to be in protocol at all in the game last week. The way they've cut back on NFL practices, you wouldn't really see a guy get a concussion in a practice. So interesting to see what's going on there, but a big role in this game for Jonathan Jones, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. David Harris is also inactive, playing against his former team. Belichick was raving about him earlier this week, and you thought without Longy, maybe Harris would get more snaps. He was out working out before the game, but no David Harris for the Patriots today in the Meadowlands. For the Jets, just one major name, Bilal Powell. I think a lot of people knew this was coming. He will be inactive this week, so it's going to be more reps for the veteran Matt Forte and the rookie Elijah McGuire, who they really like down there in New Jersey and New Rutherford. We'll see what he can do. We've seen the Patriots struggle against the run, especially on first down this year. 5-6 yards a pop on first down. That, to me, is the genesis of their defensive struggles. I know they're giving up a lot of big plays through the air, but teams can take those shots down the field when they have 2nd and 5, 2nd and 3. You need to be able to stop the run on first down if you're the Patriots in order to open things up for the rest of your defense. So not having their starting running back in Bilal Powell, arguably their best offensive playmaker thus far this year in Bilal Powell, that should help the Patriots out defensively against the run. Matt Forte is getting up there in age. He can't be a workhorse like he was in Chicago. They were able to control him last year. Elijah McGuire, he's a rookie. He may give the Patriots some trouble. I'm more worried about McGuire than I am about Forte because there's no tape on the guy. Relatively no tape on the guy. So we will see how the Patriots handle him in the early going. But again, stopping the run on first down is a must for the Patriots. And they're down 2 linebackers in Harris and Longy, so that's going to leave them with Donta Hightower, obviously, and Landon Roberts getting the majority of the workload. This was interesting. Mike Reese had this in his mailbag today. I always love reading Mike Reese's mailbag. That apparently Shea McClellan may be close to a return and is one of those eligible off IR guys. I figured, and you get 2 of those, and I figured one of those spots was earmarked for Malcolm Mitchell. Sure thing, he's coming back week 8 when he's eligible. Here we go in week 6, and according to Reese, he may not return this year. If he does, he's still a long way off. I was somebody who was counting on Malcolm Mitchell to come back. So it's interesting for me to see that. And I thought Shea McClellan was for sure done for the year. I had them switched. I didn't think we'd see Shea McClellan this season. But to see he's coming back, that's a guy they could use. One of these quicker linebackers. I'm interested to see if he's going to come back, when he's going to come back. They could really use him for that Falcons game next week. And he won't be back for that. He can't come back till week 8. But the fact that he could be back changes the way I look at this defense. Because with Rowe going down, who knows what the hell's going on now with Stephon Gilmore. Any piece they can, I know he's not a corner, but any piece they can get is going to be huge. This is the New England Patriots pregame show on CLNS Media. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Alex Barth. All of your coverage pregame, we've got you covered all day. Mike Petraglia at Trags on Twitter has you during the game. And then Mike and Marv will be back for the postgame on clnsradio.com. So you can check them out there and follow at CLNS Media for Patriots coverage throughout the day. No, Celtics are done with preseason. I was going to say, I think we have Celtics coverage today too, but they are done. But Mike Petraglia during the game, Mike and Marv postgame. I've got you up until about 12:30. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat. More than happy to get into whatever it is you guys want to talk about. Periscope as well, if you're watching on Periscope. Just throw a comment down in the box, and I'll be sure to touch on it. As we're getting you ready for kickoff between the Patriots and the Jets. I just thought I'd share this today because it's always closer than you think with the Pats and the Jets. It's always that way with the division rounds. Pats and the Bills, Pats and the Dolphins, Bills and the Dolphins, etc., whatever. It's always closer with these teams than you expect. But my favorite memory from Patriots Jets is not actually a close game. Mine is the butt fumble. And I just wanted to throw that out there. Because if you have a better Patriots Jets memory as a Patriots fan than the butt fumble, please let me know because I want to know what I'm missing. And they had who was it on? They had Vince Wilfork on Barstool last week talking about it, and he would say he had no idea it was going to blow up the way it did. But a great quote from him. Yeah, if you can think of a better Patriots Jets moment than the butt fumble, let me know because I want to know what I'm missing out on. As we get you ready for the Pats and the Jets, my name's Alex Barth. If you're watching on Periscope or on CLNS, thanks for joining. Feel free to put something in those comments there, comments, questions, whatever you want me to touch on. We can get into it. We'll talk a little Jonathan Jones. Big game for him. I was impressed with him the first couple games of the season. He played well against the Saints. I thought he played relatively well in a slightly more limited role against the Texans. Didn't play much the last couple of weeks, but he should play a big role today, and the safeties will pick up the slack as well. But no Eric Rowe, no Stephon Gilmore. We're going to see what Jonathan Jones can do. Now, the Jets are by no means the greatest show on turf. They don't have a Randy Moss. Their quarterback certainly isn't Tom Brady. But what I'm trying to say is, if Jonathan Jones comes out and has a huge game, I am not going to say, all right, get rid of Butler. Jones is the answer. But if he has a bad game, he's not the answer. And I think right now they have him earmarked, at least in a safety kind of way. Like, all right, worst case scenario, when Butler leaves in the offseason, we have Jonathan Jones opposite Stephon Gilmore. If he can't play well today, that option needs to go out the window. So not a lot to gain, a lot to lose for Jonathan Jones today. I think he's up to the task. People forget he ran one of the fastest 40-yard dashes at his combine. He was, I think, 4.22, somewhere in that range. The reason he wasn't picked is teams didn't see him as a slot corner. He's 6'1". Obviously, he has the speed, not quite as agile, but he only played 1% of his snaps outside the slot at Auburn. So he didn't have the experience, and teams didn't want to invest a draft pick in that much of a project. Project, you say? All right, Bill Belichick brings him in. You mostly used him on special teams. But now that he has the reps, we're really going to see today. And yes, I liked him against the Saints. I liked him against the Texans. Limited snaps. Okay, I liked what I saw, but by no means was it something that's going to put me over the top. Shouldn't be limited snaps today. I would be surprised if it's limited snaps today. I don't know what other direction they would go. Unless they're going to bring McCourty up to corner, which they've done at times throughout his career. Remember, he was drafted as a corner, moved back to safety after a sophomore slump after, was it 7 interceptions as a rookie? They'll occasionally move him back to corner. But no, we should see a lot of Jonathan Jones today. And this game, people will talk about a lot about this game this offseason. Regardless of what happens with the Patriots this year, Super Bowl or not, people are going to talk about this game because when we're talking about, oh, how do you replace Malcolm Butler? Jonathan Jones' name is going to be brought up, and it's either going to be, remember how well he played in that Jets game when he was one of the top 2 corners, or he couldn't even handle the Jets when he was a top 2 corner. So keep an eye on number 31 today. Huge game for him. In terms of what he can bring to the Patriots down the road here. It's a chance for him to step up, frankly. This is the kind of game, if you're in a Bill Belichick system, that players live for. This is a chance to prove to the big hoss, to Bill Belichick, that I belong on an NFL stage. And once you prove that, he doesn't let you go, for better or worse. He doesn't let you go. Lawrence Maroney had one good game his rookie year, and then we had to deal with that crap for, 4 years. God, Lawrence Maroney was terrible. I'm not going to go on a Lawrence Maroney tangent right now. Unless you guys want that. Put it in the chat, put it in the comments. I guess we can get into that if you really need to. But let's try to keep it, sorry about that. Let's try to keep it Patriots-Jets here. At least right till we get up until kickoff. We can maybe tangent towards the end of the show if you want. Patriots down in the Meadowlands. Now, I think myself, like many others, have the Patriots losing one division game this year. They haven't swept the division in a while. Last year was the game where Brissett had a broken thumb. They didn't really have a quarterback, and that was its own thing against the Bills. But they really don't sweep. As good as they've been, generally one division team trips them up. You remember last year, they had to win it in the final minutes against the Jets. The rest of the team outside of Brady did not look good on that day. Brady had to lead them down the field late for the score, and it was, I believe it was Rob Ninkovich who forced the fumble late that got them the win. But you gotta, I don't want to say I'm picking the Jets because I'm not. I'll give my prediction at the end of the game. But you gotta be careful going into the Meadowlands if you're the Patriots. This is a trap game for them. This is 100% a trap game for them. You're coming off a Thursday night game, which was one of the ugliest football games I've ever seen. And you have a Super Bowl rematch next week against the Atlanta Falcons. You're on the road, division opponent. You see these guys all the time. People have written them off. I know they're 3-2, but they've written them off as a terrible team. Yes, the Carolina game was a trap game, and they lost. This is not as much of a trap game as Carolina, but I don't think I'm as comfortable with this game as some Patriots fans are. And I know I've only been doing this show for a year, and I'm telling you week after week I'm not comfortable. If I had done the show last year, any year before, you'd understand. I generally overhype the Patriots. I do my best not to be a homer with Boston sports, and with some of them I'm certainly not. I will criticize the Red Sox and the Bruins and the Celtics days on end. The Patriots probably have a little more leeway with me, but I don't remember being as worried about games as I have been this year. This has been interesting, to say the least, this season, between the secondary being what it is, and maybe today will be a little better communication-wise. Because even though you don't have Stephon Gilmore, you have guys who have been in the system. Jonathan Jones been here for a couple of years. Malcolm Butler's obviously been here for a couple of years. We know how experienced the safeties are: Chung, McCourty, Harmon. So maybe this will look a little better. But between the secondary, the offensive line has been trash. And nobody's talked about that because of the struggles of the defense. But the offensive line has been garbage. I haven't felt great about this team. Because when the Patriots are at their best, when they're winning Super Bowls, they have a great offensive line and a great secondary. Tom Brady's a constant. They've won with a subpar receiving core and subpar running backs. They've won with an inexperienced defensive front. But you look at the Super Bowls that they won, and the first three, you had Ty Law, you had Laura Malloy or Rodney Harrison, you had Eugene Wilson, You had Asante Samuel. You had a great secondary, and the offensive line of Matt Light, Dan Copen, Greg Robinson-Randolph, Joe Andruzzi, Damian Woody. That's the first three. And then in the second part of the possible dynasty, I think they need one more for it to technically be a dynasty, but you look at the secondary, they won with Revis and Browner, and I still think Browner was good when he was on the Patriots. His best days are behind him, and of course they had McCourty back there and Chung. And then you still had McCourty and Chung, and you added Malcolm Butler on the greatest year of his career, and as much as I've ripped on Logan Ryan, he was decent. And that offensive line last year, Marcus Cannon and Nate Solder, Pro Football Focus, two of the best tackles in football. I think they reached top 5 in their respective side. Now those two have not lived up to those numbers this year. They've both seriously struggled. And the secondary hasn't been good. So when the Patriots are winning Super Bowls, those two spots are always strong. Now, there's still time for them to get better. The secondary has a lot of talent. It's been communication issues and Stephon Gilmore not knowing the freaking playbook. But he's not in the lineup today. There's still time for the secondary to get better. Look, when they won in 2014, they struggled at the beginning of the year. They struggled out of the gate, the secondary. And the offensive line, we know Cannon and Solder can do it because they did it last year. The only question is, can they do it again? Can they get back to that form? It's about people getting back to form this year for the Patriots. And I'm somebody, this is true for me, any sport, any team, it's what have you done for me lately? I'll believe it when I see it. That kind of thing. This is the CLNS Media Patriots pregame show. We got a question here on YouTube. The Patriots had not won 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Would you give the Patriots the benefit of the doubt to get it together this year? That's a good question. I kind of hate these what-ifs, but I'll humor you here, Harrison. Yes, because they won 2. So I don't get what you're asking me here. You need to clarify. So if they'd never won, period, or if the first dynasty doesn't matter, or if they'd won the first dynasty but they hadn't won 2 of the last 3. Look, Bill Belichick won 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. And no coach has done that in the salary cap era. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt based on that. If they hadn't won the last 2 years, I'm probably a little more nervous, but the hope isn't as high this year for them to win a Super Bowl either. So the stakes aren't as high. It doesn't matter as much. It's an interesting question, but I don't think I can really answer it. It's just a very difficult hypothetical. We got a question here on Periscope. How banged up is Tom Brady? He's got that AC joint injury, which kept Garoppolo out last year. It's the other shoulder. It's his left shoulder. It's non-throwing shoulder, but Brady supposedly has had this injury before. And you can talk about Big Ben all you want. Pain tolerance among NFL quarterbacks, you don't think of Brady as that guy. He's more on the slim side. He's older. This guy can take a beating. I think he's banged up. I don't think it matters. Whatever the hell he's drinking. Look, I think it was Mike Grinnell from WEI, the Boston Globe, had it on Twitter last week. The way this offensive line is protecting him, if Tom Brady can make it through this season healthy, I'll go buy that $125 cookbook because it works. They're not going to give Tom Brady a week off. Don't come at me with that comment. They're not. Maybe week 17 if everything's locked up, which it could be. But he's going to play if he can play. And that's kind of a Yogi Berraism, but you're not taking this guy off the field. Tom Brady is banged up. He is hurt, but he's not injured. And it takes a lot to injure Tom Brady. There's a difference. Ray Lewis, the famous quote, there's hurt and there's injured. You can play hurt. And then his quote is, you can play injured too, but that's because Ray Lewis is a crazy sports dad. But you can play hurt, and that's what Tom Brady's doing. He should get a rest this week. I know the Jets have a great defensive front, and they've gotten to the quarterback, but they don't have a lot of sacks. I think they only have 3 sacks through 6 games. It's an absurdly low number for a unit that talented up front. I'm not convinced Brady's going to get hit a lot today. You're going to see a lot of 3-step drops, get the ball out quick. The safeties, Adams, and I'm blanking on the other one's name for the Jets, but they got those 2 young safeties out there. They're young and experienced. The rest of the secondary isn't great. It's Jamal Adams and Marcus May's the other one. Jamal Adams, Marcus May, the 2 draft picks. I know Morris Claiborne's been playing great, but I mean, their other corner is Darrell Roberts, former Patriot, if you remember him. A lot of 3-step drop, quick slants. I don't think we're going to see as much of the deep ball today as we've seen this season. Big game for Mike Gillislee. I know I say that every week, and then it's not, but I think it's a big game for Mike Gillislee this week. I'm looking. I'm looking at, this is generally their game plan against the Jets. Quick passes, short passes, heavy dose of the run game, control the clock, keep the offense off the field as bad as it is. They're going to try to tire this defense out. It's going to be a grind, as it always is against the Jets for the Patriots. It's going to be a grind. We got a score prediction here on YouTube. This is from Sonic Boom 363. Patriots 56, Jets 0. Somebody else had that prediction last week. I'll buy the Jets 0. I'm not buying the Patriots 56. Because, look, we had a question earlier. Will they give Tom Brady a week off? No. If they get up 31 in the fourth quarter, will they give him a quarter off? Yeah, probably. We could see Jimmy G if this turns into a blowout. So, my prediction is going to be a little close in 56-0. But I appreciate the respect you have for this Patriots defense, because I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Yes, they took care of Tampa. Tampa has a great offense, and I am not taking that lightly. I did not expect them to have that performance. I think about, what was my final? It was like 45-41, 45-42. I was well off last week. But that's still, I mean, Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, James is a hell of a player, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard. That's a hell of an offense that they held in check last week, even on short rest. So, and now they had 10 weeks to figure stuff out. Not having Stephon Gilmore hurts. I thought he played okay last week. But they have now positive tape and 10 days to figure it out. Should be a good-looking defensive effort this week against a bad offense. This should be their best defensive performance of the season. At least second best. I know that they were great last week. At least second best defensive performance of the season for the Patriots should come this week. I have a comment that just says the Jets will. I don't know what the Jets will what. This is from the same person who said Patriots 56, Jets nothing. So the Jets will not score. The Jets will not show up. Look, here's the thing about being the New England. The Jets will not score. They're playing a serious team. Maybe. I said I buy the 0. I don't buy the 56. I have them with a little more than 0, just given how banged up the Patriots defense is. But I'm not in on the 56. I'm not. I just think that as injured as they are and as shallow as they are depth-wise, they're getting these guys off the field if they're up that much. Now, if they score 56 points in the first quarter, yeah, that's probably 56 in the first half. Yeah, that's probably how that happens. But if they're 31, 35, 41 at the end of the third quarter, they're sitting everybody and they're just sitting on the ball for the final 15 minutes. And let's all hope that's what happens. At least us Patriots fans. I think I saw a couple of Jets fans in here watching. And if you are Jets fans, please let me hear it. Tell me why I'm wrong or why I'm right. I know a lot of Jets fans are down on their team this year, and I love the Jets fans that are at the beginning of the year, and you know who you are if you're watching this. Oh, I don't care about the Jets this year. I want them to lose. I'm done with the Jets. I hope they lose. I'm rooting for them to lose. I want Sam Darnold. I want Josh Rosen. And now all of a sudden here they are 3-2. And they're getting annoyed when the Jets do bad things. You said you didn't want them to win. There's no way to be a happy Jets fan right now, and I love that. Because either you wanted them to tank and they're winning, or they're playing well but not well enough and you're frustrated by that. So I am just drinking in the misery of the Jets fans, and it is fantastic. I know I'm a front runner. I know this is why people hate Patriots fans, but I like playing the villain. The Patriots are such a good villain. Bill Belichick is such a good villain, and you need that for good entertainment. And I love rooting for the villain. What can I say? This is the CLNS Media Patriots pregame show. My name is Alex Barth. Thanks for tuning in on a Sunday morning. Taking you up until kickoff. The Patriots and the Jets will be with you for another 5 minutes or so. We'll see how these questions and comments come in. Again, anything you guys want me to talk about, put it in the chat, put it in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or Periscope. I thank you for tuning in. More than happy to touch on anything we haven't touched on yet. Haven't talked much about the Patriots offense. Not much to talk about this week. I know they underperformed last week, but it was on a short week. So if you have any comments or questions, bring to me. During the game, CLNS has you all day. During the game, Mike Petraglia at Trags on Twitter. He's got all that. And then Mike and Marv have you for the post game. They'll break it all down and preview the big game next week, Sunday Night Football, the Patriots and the Falcons. I see we got a couple more questions coming in here on YouTube, so I want to make sure we get to those. I just want to remind everybody, follow CLNS on Twitter at CLNS Media. Check them out online at clnsradio.com. And, yeah, all right, we got a bunch of comments in here. We got a prediction from Raymond. Patriots 34, Jets 10. And that's a little closer to mine. I'm a lot more pessimistic than you people, and I didn't think that was coming. And then saying Brady could sit against Jacksonville, Cleveland, and Miami. Oh, Jets wins to Jacksonville, Cleveland, and Miami. Brady could rest during garbage time. Could Jimmy G play it all today? Yeah, so I was just saying, I think if they get up, and I don't know if they will. My score's a little bit closer, but if they're up 3 scores going into the fourth quarter, 4 scores. If they're up 4 scores for sure, maybe 3. Yeah, behind this offensive line and that Jets defensive front, which has struggled but has a lot of talent, and I put more stock in the talent than the numbers. Yeah, I absolutely think Jimmy G is a candidate to play today, 100%. They need to get that lead, but if they're up, Brady should not go wire. I will be upset if Brady goes wire to wire, and they have the thing in the books at the end of 3 quarters. That's irresponsible to me. Brady's hurt. He's not injured, but he is hurt. And being hurt can turn into injuries. So, yeah, get him off the field if you can. Absolutely, Sonic Boom. Yes, Jimmy G could play today. If they get the lead, he should play today. That's just me. Then again, you have to remember, every game against the Jets for Bill Belichick is a revenge game. Because he hates the New York Jets. He won't say their name. He won't. So, he may be out for blood today. He may want to win 56-0. He may leave Brady in. It'd be irresponsible, but Belichick views these Jets games differently than he views any other contest. He doesn't like the New York Jets. They treat him poorly when he was an assistant. They brought about Spygate. He doesn't like the Jets. That being said, hopefully he has the bigger picture in mind and he gives Tom Brady some rest today. Hopefully, but we'll see. I just hope we're in that scenario where the Patriots are blowing the Jets out of their own building. That would be nice. And it could be, again, it's going to be rainy today too, I think. It's supposed to rain a little bit, drizzle in New York. So that much more reason. Get Brady out of the game. And not just Brady. Get Gronk out of the game if you can, if you're up big. Get Cooks out. I guess they really can't with the wide receivers. Because who are they going to put in? They can't really rest any of the wide receivers. That's just kind of occurring to me here. I guess you could line Jacob Hollister up as a wide receiver. I hope we see plenty of Dwayne Allen today. Because Dwayne Allen's terrible, and I don't mind him playing garbage time. I don't. Because I'm going through all the other... I mean, him and Hollister, anybody else? Even Matt Slater. The special teams was different when he wasn't on the field. I don't know if I want them lining him up as a wide receiver. Oh, this team has no depth. Just 0 depth. Those injuries are just killer. Absolutely killer. All right, this is the CLNS Media Patriots pregame show. My name's Alex Barth. Thanks for tuning in. Final couple minutes here of the program. If you got any last-minute questions or comments, drop them either to my right or my left. It's my left on YouTube, or down below on Periscope if you're watching on there. Haven't talked much about the Jets themselves, mostly about the Patriots. So if there are any Jets fans watching, please weigh in. We heard from a Chiefs fan before the first game. We had some Buccaneers fans weighing in last week, and I love going at the opposing fans. So don't be afraid to weigh in if you're a Jets fan here this week. We'll do the prediction here as we get ready to wrap this up. So I have it a little bit closer than you guys, and feel free to criticize me. I'm going to go Patriots 31, Jets 24. So I think late score from Brady puts it away. Probably a little closer than it will be. Patriots 31, Jets 24. I had it close last week too. I had it high scoring last week. I haven't been great on the predictions, but Patriots, Jets. Last year, the Patriots were a much, much, much better team than the Jets. And it was a close game. And it generally is between these teams. So 31-24 Patriots. That's my prediction. It's always pulling hair with the Jets. Wait till you hear my prediction next week, because I think I already kind of have an idea of what I want it to be. And that's called the big market tease. So if there's no more questions, comments, if everybody has the information they need from me, I'll get ready to sign this off here. Again, at Trags, we'll pick our coverage up from here. At Trags on Twitter, Mike Petraglia, he has you during the game. Mike and Marv will have you post-game at CLNS Media on Twitter for all of it. We will be back next week. It's an 8:30 game, so the show will not be in the morning. It will actually be a 7:30 start. We are, as always, an hour until kickoff, so a 7:30 start next week, give or take. If there's a good 4 o'clock game on, we want to get as many viewers as possible, so we may let you watch the end of the 4 o'clock game. We'll see. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRealAlexB for information on that, and of course at CLNS Media we'll have it as well. We'll be live on YouTube next week and Periscope. That will do it for us. I want to thank Greats for making the show possible. Thanks CLNS Media. Again, go follow Trags on Twitter, Mike Petraglia. He'll take you through the game, and then Mike and Marv on post-game. If you want to listen back to this show, if you missed anything, it will be posted on clnsradio.com immediately following, not immediately following, about 10 minutes after the end of the broadcast, so you can catch up there, listen to it tomorrow, see what I cold taked, and call me out for all my wrong opinions. That'll do it for me. I'm Alex Barth. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next week on CLNS Media. Bye, everybody. Hope you enjoy the game. Get those nachos going.